And we are recording. How are you, Patrice, today?
I'm feeling good. How are you doing, Charlotte?
I'm feeling good. I have a sore throat. Um, I think it's from my son. He's been sick the past weekend, been super well on Monday, but I think I just got, the residue of his past
Yeah.
coughing and coarse throat as well.
Yes, I've been very nasally as well because when the kids get sick, you can't help but love them and kiss them. And so I always end up getting it after everybody else is done.
It's very funny. I listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza the other day, and he was just saying the germ doesn't make me sick. I make myself sick. And so what this, cold sore told me, the sore throat told me, is that some weakness happened in my life right now. And so the germ just happened to be in the weakest place because my son was sick, and the weakest place was probably my throat. So they just decided to join the party. So I do believe that it's true that we make ourselves sick if we are weaker, if we don't take care of ourselves, if we're not very well in synergy in our mind, body, and soul. It creates unbalance, and the germ can just invite themselves to the party. I'm just saying.
No, you're not wrong. I think that it's time to, it matches perfectly with the new moon cycle and the beginning of the fall. It's time to realign and create. And
it's very funny because every new moon cycle, and it goes as well for the New Year's, I feel the pressure of everybody getting a fresh start. And I don't really like that. I like to be in a continuous way, I know we go into cycle, but if I have that great momentum, I don't want to break it with my mind thinking that, oh, it's a new start. But that happened this week, right? The new moon was on Sunday, the 26th, new moon in Libra. So a lot of romance, a lot of love, a lot of things going on with your relationship.
Ooh la la.
Yes. And then it depends on your astrological sign, and you have other things that, if you're interested about that, just shoot me an email because I can just give you more information. I'm not an expert, but I can give you more information. Anyway, new cycle are always a lot of emotions, because it's a new cycle that starts, and we're ooh, I have to set up new goals, I have to set up new intention, and sometimes it's just freak people out, and I'm part of that freaked out people. I can get stressed when I have to do something that it's not that I don't feel like it, but it feels like sometimes I don't have the tools to do it the proper way. So let's talk about that today. Let's talk about the tools. Let's talk about our goals and intention and how we align them to the future version of ourselves. How do we stay plugged into that future version of ourselves when we set goal and intention for the present moment?
I actually feel the complete opposite about goals and intention. I just dig into it. I love it. For me personally, there's no stress involved in a new cycle and a new time to realign and dig into it. So it's interesting for me that this is something that would cause restriction in other people, and I just I feel like my goal is to sort of take everybody in a little pocket and be like, come on, we can come together, it doesn't have to be scary. Your vision, for me, I think that a vision is very fluid. Your vision is always in flux because as you are hitting these milestones and growing and evolving and changing, so is your vision. So for us to invite these cycles in and use them as a place to just, rather than set accountability, but realign, I like that word, realigning, why not?
Let me ask you a question, Patrice, because I want us to be very honest with our audience. I know you love the work, and I know you love teaching that, and I know you love to take all the people in your heart to set their intention and goals. Do you do it every single new cycle for yourself?
I am actually very consistent when in my news cycles. I do use the cycle, and I do set intentions, and I actually do it every morning. I set intentions for my day. Every week we set intentions for our week, and I do it on a monthly and yearly cycle as well.
Do you do it in all areas of your life?
I do it mostly in all areas of my life. I am not as consistent. So occasionally what will happen, what has been happening for me recently, which I've been really digging into and we spoke about, is I have been focused on one area, which is my family, and I've allowed other areas to sort of dwindle a little bit, which is part of it. It is a normal thing, but I have had some resistance of my own because of it. So I want to excel everywhere. I want to set intentions everywhere. I want to be the best. I want to be hitting all of my markers. I want to be perfect, but I'm not.
And it's very funny because for me, I'm very consistent with setting intention for my business and what I want to do with the business. Well, for our business, I say my business because, as you know, as a singular person who's doing her part, very consistent with that. And I neglect other part of my life. So I'm curious, like, well, I know the answer because obviously we work together, but let's talk about how we organize the whole thing so that we stay consistent and there is no separation between our business and other parts of our lives, such as families, such as, you know, recreation, romance, wealth and health, and health, wellness and health, all those little parts that actually are supporting each other along the way.
Do you want to know the secret?
Yeah,
I have the secret. Are you ready?
I am.
You can't tell anybody else though. You have to accept the help.
Okay. I think
You
when
have
the
to
secret is
accept the
so
support.
good, you're forced to share it.
You have to accept the support, which is the hardest thing to do. So for me, in my home, accepting the support means accepting support from my husband and my family to do things that have made my plate overflow. And in our business, accepting the support is looking at you and saying, oh, Charlotte, I am not hitting all my milestones as I'd like to. Let's work through it, which we did earlier this week and will continue to do. But that is the secret. The secret is keeping yourself accountable with people who are there to love you through it, to support you through it, and who will empower you to continue going even when you are unsure about your own what's the word? What would be the word?
Your own like vision, the own
Yeah,
thing, like the thing that you want to accomplish.
Exactly. So whenever, those are the people that are going to sort of give you a little tug when you're feeling like you're stuck or you're feeling like you're not making any headway. Surround yourself with those people who will love you through that.
So I do have another secret, which
Ooh.
will be like 2 secrets in one live.
Are you sure they're ready for
cool? I think they're ready. So secret number 1 is to ask for help, for support, and allow it to come to you. Allow it, accept the support, right? Secret number 2, to me, and it works very well, it's to be effing clear about my emotional intention. And I use emotional before intention, and I don't even use goals. To me, goals are the desire, but it's in the future. And we are doing things, we are making things, we are creating things, whether it's from the quantum field, so from thought only, or from the material world, when we are in the present. So a desire goal is something that I'm manifesting, but it's a future milestone. I'm interested in the present, and that's why I used emotional intention. Intention are based in the present. That is something that you set for the present moment. So let's say my goal this month is to attract, manifest new business opportunities. And see, I'm not using any number because for me, the masculine energy of numbers stress me out and put pressure. And I want to enjoy the present moment because my intention by creating new business opportunity is to do more of what I love, is to have fun, is to feel unlimited. And if I put numbers, it limits myself. So if let's say I say my intention, my goal, my desire for this month is to get 5 new clients, I limit myself because I can have more than 5 clients, right? So I don't put any number for that specific reason because the emotion that I want to feel when I intend that in the very present is unlimited. I want to be open to opportunity and I want to feel unlimited. And so by associating that emotion into the present moment and into my intention, that power up my manifestation process.
So one of the questions that often comes up is, well, then how will I know? If you don't put the number to it, then how will you know? So how do you gauge that? How do you engage the success, some would say, of that intention?
You mean in the present moment or when I assess my month?
After you've done, when you're assessing your month.
So it's so funny because we discussed that yesterday in our coaching call. It was such a powerful activity that we presented to our clients. We use what we call emotional scales. And the thing with emotional scales that I found very valuable is that most of the time we don't really know how we feel. We either feel like, I think I feel high, or I think I feel just content, or I know I feel like low vibe. But sometimes it's difficult to say it's frustration, or it's jealousy, or it's overwhelm. And so that scale really helped us to exactly know where we are at with that. And so at the end of the month, when I assess, I'm like, okay, I'm going to write down because we're going to talk about business because obviously it's a lot of entrepreneurs here and we're here to serve that fabulous audience of entrepreneurs and business owners. When we do business here at the Peppy Profit Place, we have 4 categories plus administration, but the 4 categories are attract and reach, nurture, sell, and serve. Right. And so for each area of the business, I'm gonna give a note from 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, I feel awesome about it, and 0 being like, I feel like so frustrated, so like, yeah, I feel like even like unworthy of the work that I produce, of the thought that I have even in that area. And by doing so, by really like noting, putting a note on it, you are forced to actually go back to what you have accomplished and not accomplished. And when I did it, yes, or 2 days ago, because the full moon was on the 26th, when I did it, when I put the note for each part of it, my overall feeling for selling was kind of like, like a 4, 5, no more. But why do I feel this way? And so I went back to everything that we did this month. And we actually like got new clients this month. We actually like had a new offer and we had a few people entering the circle and et cetera, et cetera. But for the sell part, so how many new clients do we have? We had a few. And so it actually like made me think like, oh, maybe I'm not a 4, but maybe I'm more like a 6, right? And maybe the feeling is not overwhelm or frustration, maybe it's just impatience. And if you look at the scales of the Abraham X scales, and I'm going to try to find that, you realize that being impatient is actually a higher, more elevated emotion than Being unworthy. I'm going to try to find the thing. I'm going to give you the mic for a minute and I'm going to just like.
I'm actually sending it to you now. There you go.
Okay, cool. I got it. So I'm going to share the screen and you're going to see that emotional scale that I think it's so valuable when you assess how you feel. And by the way, you can use it like even like every single day to assess how you feel. And that gives you information. And when you have information, you are clearer about the intention that you want to set.
Mm-hmm. It takes I'll share the story about my son, because my family and I have been using this scale every single morning. So my son woke up the other day and he had missed a day of school and he was not feeling very well, and he had a math test and he felt simply like he was going to he was not prepared for it. And so our practice in the morning is we come down and we identify where we are in that moment. So are you high on the vibrational scale? Are you low on the vibrational scale? And then we put action to it. So he was feeling a little overwhelmed. He was feeling a little bit of worry. And people often are between, different areas. So after we started to dig into it, I realized that there was maybe just a little, he was more on the overwhelm, and, he just needed a little bit of guidance and help and love. And so what were the action items that we could take in this moment to help him go into the day feeling like maybe there was some hope, like he was a little bit more prepared? And so we took some time in the car. We knew we had a 20-minute drive. And so we did some flashcards very quickly. We went over some concepts. He reviewed some of his notes in the car, and we all rallied around to build that vibration throughout the day. And he did very well on the test. He actually did exceptionally well on the test. When you are present to your emotion, and when you can really dig into it and not just sort of lead with this like low vibration, I feel, unworthy, I'm not, I feel fear or guilt, like those very, very low. But when you can really dig into it and identify the source and lean into that emotion and allow it its moment, it takes pressure off.
And you know why? It's because now you're not living in the future of whether you will or not be successful at the test. You're putting the attention, and so the energy right into the present moment, being present with yourself. So you kind of break the link, the invisible link that you have, that you have with stress, which is based on the future.
Yeah, you take the emotion out of it. You neutralize that emotion, and that in of itself is a vibrational raise to whatever you're feeling.
And I believe there is also something about taking responsibility, right? You are now responsible for the way you feel. And so you blame yourself, but at least there is part of the responsibility that is now taken into consideration. And Absolutely. So it's easy to elevate. Okay, so I feel discouragement right now. So what can I do in the present moment to feel less discouraged? And you can like literally talk to yourself, say, hey, and do the picture. You don't need someone to do it, but if the support is available, absolutely. How can I feel less discouraged? Maybe I should check my notes for the test, and maybe I will feel a little bit more prepared. So from discouragement now, I go boom into contentment. I think I'm okay, and I like literally pass by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 emotion just in a second.
Exactly. He left the car feeling hopeful. Not hopeful that he was going to get 100, or hopeful that, he was never going to have to worry about it again. But in that moment, he left the car and he had an expectation of success that was higher than he had when he came down the stairs in the morning. And
Yeah,
that's the superpower.
absolutely. You know what I often say, energy or emotion or energy in motion. So emotion, energy in motion, emotion. And I lost the track of my thought by saying that. But I think that's okay. It will come back. It will come back. So I do believe that emotion powers up the power of intention settings and actually lower the pressure of the outcome. And that's how you finally freaking surrender to what's going to happen and you stay focused and connected to the emotion, to the feeling, to the intention that you have in the present moment. Because let's go back to the 5 clients, or not the 5 clients because numbers freak me out, but to the new opportunity that I am attracting for my business. My intention is for my client to find me. It's not for me to reach out to them. My intention, it's for my client to find me. How I feel about that, I feel just in awe because it just feels unlimited. Another intention is to be seen and heard. And about that, I feel so impactful. And by focusing that on the emotion, it gives me like more information about the little things that I want to experience in the present moment to manifest that future outcome. But I'm more passionate now about the present than the outcome doesn't matter anymore. Because if you focus on elevating your emotion and the way you feel right in the present moment, number one, you break the bound with the future, you break the bound with the past. You're so focused on the present moment that now all the creative energy is here for you to just tap into and distribute in the little thing that you want to do or sing or think.
I love that. I love that.
I love those quantum trainings.
I know. It was a lot of fun. I was so excited. It was like a bolt of lightning last night. So I think that we should share this emotional graph with our audience. We should link it in the comments section. And I'd love to hear feedback of whether or not this works for anybody, whether they utilize it and if it works.
How they use it, how they utilize it, and if it lower the pressure that they put on themselves by being too much present in the future or in the past. So I would love to know that. And I think we should share something as well that can be an interest for people. Every new cycle, we actually have launched a quantum circle where we host amazing entrepreneurs and business owners together, and we set emotional intention together. We discuss quantum topic and we mix. We don't network because it's not about the business by itself, it's more about the human connection. And so we do like small break rooms during those meetings and we deeply connect on a human level, really like learning who is this other person, what their personality is, what identity are they. And we had our first one 2 days ago. It was like, wow, it was just stepping into the unknown and having exceptional feedbacks and result and emotion from it. So if you are keen or interested or curious to learn more about it, I'm going to place a link onto the comment section below. It's peppyprofitplace.com/quantum-circle and you can join. It's a $7 meeting. The reason why we make it paid is because we want people who are actually going to show up. So yes, we want you to show up, and that's why it's not actually about the conversion rate here. It's actually about giving the support to the people who really need the support. And so if you register, you just show up, unless like something crazy happened, your son is sick, you're sick, but we want people to register and show up. Otherwise, there is no point of just registering to make us happy because it's actually not making us happy. We couldn't care less. We really like
we-
here.
Well, we could care less. We want you to show up, but it's an investment. It's an investment in yourself. And so the $7 is really so that you invest in yourself and you take ownership, and then you're in the room. Because once you're in the room, you're learning and growing and evolving.
Absolutely. So we care that you show up, but if you don't want to join, it's okay. We don't mind. And that's fine. Absolutely fine. So we'll put the link in the comment section below. And we hope to see you on October the 25th at 11 a.m. PST. And there's going to be a new moon. I don't know the sign that will be associated to that new moon, but I promise it will be like a lot of fun. Patrice, any last words, any last thought?
No, I am complete.
We are complete. Have a fantastic day, you all, and we will see you very, very soon. Peace out.